Hello everyone, I would like to show you one game that I have played recently against one of my friends from one of the chess sites. It's on chess.com. So there is a really big difference in ratings here. It's about 700 points rating difference, but I'm at the moment playing one correspondence game with the same player and I'm probably about to lose. So this player is maybe a bit underrated. Let's get into it. I will go quickly through the opening. I was black and both of us played solid moves. So we started a little bit slow. And now knight a3. I don't know about this move. It looks like the knight is not doing much there. Maybe this square would be more appropriate for that knight. But okay. Let's see what happened afterwards. I immediately placed c6 to deny the b5 square from this knight and to strengthen the d5 pawn. So b3 was played, trying to get this bishop on this diagonal, and I don't know why I didn't try immediately to take advantage of this diagonal, because knight e4 looks like a good move, opening the bishop, but I missed that obviously, so I developed and my opponent put the bishop on b2. I had developed the queen here, looking at this knight in some variations after we maybe exchanged these bishops, and c4 was played. I had replied rook e8 with the idea of sometimes going e5 and maybe e4 or d4, and the queen trade was offered. I exchanged, and now I went knight e4, trying to do what I missed a couple of moves earlier to take advantage of this long diagonal. So for example, if now white would capture this knight with a pawn, then black can recapture here with the bishop, and that black bishop that would appear here would attack the rook and the knight at the same time. So white doesn't have any options but to take on g7, but now black takes on d2. And as you can see, this guy is threatened and this rook is threatened. So if this bishop would move, then the knight would capture the rook. Therefore, my opponent played very smart. He saved the rook and at the same time attacked my knight. Now, I cannot just take pawn, let's say here, and then if he takes, I can take the bishop, but the problem is at the end, this pawn will take on d5, and when I retake, white's bishop would get on d5, and we would be even material, but this bishop would become very active and it would look at this b7 pawn, and it would be hard for me to develop this guy. And at the same time, if you can imagine, the c file would be open, so he would very soon conquer it with his rooks, and that would actually be a very bad position for me. So I took here and decided to close the position before this bishop becomes very alive. But this is still a good bishop. He is attacking here and here through this pawn, so I cannot just go with the pawn here to develop because this one is hanging. So what I did, actually it was his move, he played knight c2, I went e5 to protect, and now my opponent missed a good move. He could just push the b pawn and try to somehow take advantage of my lack of development and these problems with these pawns that are constantly under pressure from this guy. But he played here with the knight back, and I immediately play a5 to prevent him from controlling this square and pushing to take advantage of the things that I talked earlier. So I did, he went rook c2, and I put the knight here on c5. And now after knight f3, f6, rook b2, bishop g4, rook back. This makes sense. So now white can push a3 and b4, and when I take, he takes, and then this rook is protecting this rook, and the position is maybe slightly better for white or equal, I'm not sure. So I decided to try to maybe organize some pawn advance in the center, because I cannot gain advantage on the queen side after he goes a3 and b4. But what happened here is that my opponent played b4. Probably he was attracted by the fact that I moved my rook from the a file, so he thought, okay, I'll just open the b file and now there is no danger on the a file. But actually there is danger, because this rook can come back and it can double up with the another rook, and the problem for white is that the b file that he has is covered, because this b7 pawn can not be touched because of this knight, and this knight cannot be dislodged so easily. He would have to maneuver this knight somewhere, or here maybe, but the problem is this pawn is hanging, so he first has to protect it before he moves his knight. So basically now white is in a very tough spot just because he opened the wrong file. He should have opened the a file. So I immediately switched back, and now, well, probably my opponent was a little bit disappointed with the development of the situation, so he just didn't do nothing. And after these moves, we had this position. Now already white was in big trouble, but this allowed a pretty combination. He should have done maybe something else, but it's hard to recommend. Anyway, let's see. I played this check, and after 91, there was this nice finish. Actually, the game didn't finish here, but this gave black a final big lead in material. After this move, rook takes e1, and my opponent did play here, and something like that, and the game lasted for 20 more moves. But the point was, if he would have taken, then this knight fork attacking the rook and the king would decide the game. So you might think that this opponent is not so strong by the play from this game, but very soon I will make a video after we finish our correspondence game that we are playing, where he plays really good chess, and I think I'm going to lose this game, the next one, but we will see. I might somehow save it. Very soon I will make a video, as soon as the game is over. Thanks for your time, and see you soon.